And I want to welcome everyone to Building on the Base blockchain. I am your host, Ryan Cohn. I'm the dev for the Diamond Meme coin. Those of you who don't know us, we're Pepe's ex girlfriend and also his worst nightmare. We stand for women's rights as well as ethicality and transparency in the blockchain. And this whole Building on the Base blockchain series is all about highlighting solid projects and devs on Base and really just providing them a platform to talk about and showcase everything that they've been working so hard on. And today's guest is obviously Based Bobr and a couple members from the team. And I want to give them a couple minutes to introduce themselves and everything that they've been working on and building.
All right, I'll go first. My name is Esso. I am the community manager of Bobr. I have had some previous experience in a bunch of projects, all in which, to be fair, I've gone to mills. So this is something new to me where we haven't quite hit them heights. However, what I do love about this one is that I finally feel part of like a family, part of a cult. There's a real good vibe here, and I guess as community manager of that's kind of my main focus is building the hype, is coming onto these spaces, talking, networking in the trenches, as they call it, and kind of working on those side of things. I'm not the most technical or most artistic, but I'm kind of like the driving force behind the community.
Awesome. JR, whenever you're ready.
Uh, as I mentioned to you, Ryan, I'm just out in the community driving. I'm more just here to be a fly on the wall.
Got it.
Um, yeah.
No worries at all. I didn't realize that at the beginning. Yeah, but no worries. Well, yeah, thanks for the intro, Shiloh, or Esso. And I want to. So it sounded like you've been involved in a couple different projects, but I want you to, describe, I guess, the project. What is Base Bobber in your own words, and what is it that I guess differentiates you guys? What are you working on? What do you want people to know about your project? Like, what's your elevator pitch?
Sh- Sure. So the term bobber itself is actually Polish for beaver, right?
Hmm.
And beaver is the nature's builder, and we are ironically on the building chain. So it's kind of like a timeless narrative that we've got here. That we've got this cute little character that Shiloh made, and our whole driving force is around that narrative. So actually, what makes this beautiful, right, is myself, JR, and everyone else in the community were literally just community members. Shiloh launched this token by himself as a solo dev, right? And it was done on the Ape Store platform, and for me, I was just trading on Ape Store, and when I came and saw this product, I see kind of Shiloh's NFTs, his art, the website, everything just screamed out to me like a gut feeling, like people say, when they meet the love of their life, they just know, right? And that's exactly the same feeling I had for this project. So like it just spoke out to me. It was something that was unique, it was creative, and it was something that we could actually come in and really build a family slash cult vibe around it. So like in terms of like what we're building, I guess the first thing it was actually forming a community. So one of the hardest things right now, I think, for people, especially with this TikTok environment in meme coins, is is keeping people's attention. How do you retain those people on your token? And the first thing we kind of targeted was actually building like a PFP cult,
Hmm.
building a established community that actually believes in something more than just a chart. So that kind of is where it all started for me, and how it kind of started for a lot of the guys that have been there since day one. There's a lot of people that have been here since 3K market cap, and it's easy
Wow.
to get in that early and then think, I see all this money, I'm gonna just sell my bags and move on. But I think the beauty of this project is the fact that there are guys like that that have been in from the beginning and have stuck by, have contributed towards the project in many forms that can be be their own artwork, that can be helping us with the utility that we've been building, that can be with, you know, on the raids, all different fronts. And I think that's you know, the most beautiful thing about this. We've built a dam, you know, like a beaver. We've built a dam, and we carry on. We're resilient. We're hardworking, and you know, it's really a real community project. But this was only this was only like able to happen because of Shiloh, and because of the art, and because of the idea behind this token.
That's unique. I didn't know actually Bobber had that meaning, but it's cool how it all kind of ties together like that. And you sometimes, you know, I've talked to projects where uh, that meaning was, you know, sort of put in place from the very beginning or from the very get go. And sometimes projects find that meaning, you know, eh, as time goes on. I've found that for Diamond, you know, there's kind of different ways our name ties into the products that we're building or the things that we're working on. But it's cool that you guys kind of had that vision from the get go. I want to actually share the website real quick because I personally envy your website, you know, to some degree. I think it's one of the nicest sites that I've seen, and you know, I love all the like the character that you were mentioning that Shiloh created, and the art style is just very unique. You know, the animations, um, super unique. I mean, it's right up there with. We were actually talking about another project in our group. I don't know if you guys have seen it, called Christ is King, and it's like a brand new project that just launched. A lot of money was put into the site. You know, they had a CoinGecko listing, Coin Market Cap listing, I believe, right out the gate. And your guys' website is just as nice as theirs. So props to you for putting it all together. Who built the site? Was it you, Shiloh, or was it
Yeah,
Shiloh?
it's me. And I'm actually not really happy with the website. That's why I'm redesigning it right now. That's why I put it like on the portal, I mean the channels on the Telegram, and also I made an announcement on the group that I'm going to redesign it completely. Also, we're going to redesign the on-chain kit. So Base Bobr has the on-chain kit. If you never heard about it before.
Hmm. No, I haven't heard about what you're talking about. If you want to explain it a little bit further.
Oh, sure, sure. So basically, as you know, Base Bobr is a bunch of individuals, right? As so say, like there's a raiders, DJs, artists, developers that come together and build something like a really nice. And I think we started like a month ago. We think something like, what should we build? What should we build? Until we make some questionnaire to the group and asking like a bunch of questions about their problems in the Web3. The first thing is puzzle hunt. It was on the Easter egg.
Hmm.
It was on the Easter day, and we're thinking like we need to do something like a little bit different about the giveaway, about the token distribution. So we made something called the puzzle hunt. It was the Easter hunt at first, and then we changed it into a puzzle hunt, where basically if you fill the answer, there's a question, and then if you fill answer correctly, you can get a certain amount. Y- you're the developer of the diamond, right? An example is
Yes.
like, oh, I want to make something a games like a puzzle games. I want to distribute the diamond token to my followers or my fans or whatever that is. Just type a question, bunch of question, 1 to 100 examples, and you can put like a certain amount. Like if they answer it correctly, they will get like in examples 1 million diamond, or maybe like 5 million diamond, or only like 5,000 diamond if they answer it correctly. So it's the fun way to do a giveaway. And then the second one is the airdrop toolkit. Basically, sometimes like we need some kind of marketing, like distributing our token to the, the best token on base. And examples like the top holder of Toshi, the top 10 holder of Toshi. Before that, what we are to do is always like go to the base scan and then export the CSV, grab their data about the top 50 holder or whatever that is. And it takes time, and only people knows it. Only few people knows it and understand it, how to exporting those top 10,000 or maybe top 100,000 holder of Toshi to the CSV files. So we made something to make it easier for other project to using it. So
Hmm.
that is the two tools that available on our own chain kit. But I'm not really happy because uh, the function is already work, but like I need to make it everything like in a pixel perfect way.
Hmm. I see. Yeah. So making it just, I guess, perfecting like the UX and UI of everything. I guess that makes sense. Um, yeah, I actually didn't know that you guys had those products. I did see something about the game that you had developed, and I'm interested to learn a little bit more about that game. Is it so? Is it intended just to be used for your community to kind of engage the community, or are you looking to, have other communities adopt it and have that be sort of like a source of revenue or a way to market your project?
Yeah, but we've been thinking about it, like about the revenue streams, about that tools, about that puzzle on game, and we're not even like think about that still. But I was having like a conversation with the GR. GR is really businessman dude, and he gave like a lot of suggestion and stuff like that. But we still don't have the revenue stream, and we trying to do like a marketing. It's just like a soft shell because it's not completely perfect. We just trying to check if it's work to the other project. And there's some project that already using it. It
Hmm.
called Mojo on Base.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's basically like you can use it like on every token on Base. And I'm not guaranteed because like we haven't promoting it massively about this to other people project, because yeah,
Hmm.
I
still
think
a
I
lot of
think
person.
I think the idea is right is like so you can have like everyone kind of always does the same kind of competitions or there's always the same kind of you know it's essentially something for projects to onboard and to have something a little different to give away tokens to the community. So basically, yeah, it's open to anyone. There isn't any restrictions on it. We are also looking to again, Shiloh, in terms of the dev side of it, I know we'll be able to answer, but in terms of like the actual idea, we are also trying to put it into our own Telegram and make use of that tool. So we have one that's like exclusive to our holders, but the actual kind of website itself will be open to any token that's on base chain.
Hmm.
They can just use it. We don't earn any kind of money from it. It is literally just a new tool to give away tokens. So if you want to ask any kind of questions, maybe an event comes up in the year, maybe I don't know, on Christmas or something, and you want to do a Christmas quiz, for example, you
Hmm.
can just simply do like a quick Christmas quiz using that questionnaire, and the winner will be airdropped the whatever sort of selected token you have, which
Oh
is
wow! So it automates sort of the token distribution as well.
exactly, it will just go
Hmm.
to the winner of it. So you know you build you build the questions yourself. You
Hmm.
put the answers in there, and then that's it. Boom, choose your tokens, bish bash bosh, done. And then you just send it out to everyone, and they just go and they go and have fun and answer it and try and win.
Love that. That's awesome. So you can kind of preload it with some of your community's tokens, um, and yeah, and then you can start the game basically, and then whoever wins it just automatically distributes it. What is it, like an ongoing? Can you set up like a series, that will go over like a period of days or weeks or something like that, or is it a more of like a one and done, you know, game at the moment? How does that work?
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Charlotte, but I believe it is kind of like a one and done. So you know how we said before, you know, if you could put in like 100 questions, it would just be once all the questions are answered correctly, it would be done. But you can do this as many times as you want. So say,
Hmm.
you know, you got like you want to do a monthly quiz, for example, a monthly questionnaire, right? Or let's say a quiz. You know, you have a monthly quiz or even a weekly quiz. You could have like a game, like a pub quiz kind of idea. I mean, that's what we call it in the UK. I don't know if you guys have it over in the
Yeah.
US, but yeah. So you could do like a weekly pub quiz, right? And someone can win like, I don't know, like $50 worth of your token or however much you want to do. And you could just set it up on a weekly basis. Do a bunch of questions, maybe do general knowledge. It could be on crypto. It could be on events in the week or literally anything you want. You make it, you can tailor it to your liking, and
I
then the
like it.
amount that the people win, they can do it. So I think the idea is to give it to communities to use, and then you can kind of just like go away and be creative with it and kind of have fun, you know.
Yeah, that's cool. We actually we've been doing kind of like a weekly quiz that's been headed up by our community manager V, who's on here, and we'll have to check out your guys's. That's kind of why I'm asking more about it. Is you know, right now it's a pretty manual process, so I'm pretty sure V would probably appreciate, and myself, because I'm the one distributing the tokens at the moment. So it's always a pain in the butt, you know, looking through like who all the winners are, and yeah, making sure you enter everything correctly. It can take quite a bit of time. Well, that's great. I mean, it sounds like you guys are, you know, you're building products. You know, I have seen a lot of different, you know, users on social media using their profile pictures, and you know, I think it's a really great way to build community, and that's why we're dropping our NFT, um, you know, profile picture collection pretty soon, and you know, I can't wait to see our community members all have kind of like a unique version of our character. I can imagine it only helps, you know, tell the story of the project, and get the brand out there when other people see all these different, you know, profile pictures of the same character, commenting on posts and stuff like that.
It's
So,
like a sense of tribalism, right? So
mhm.
you're like kind of repping your badge, as they say. Like you're proud to wear, you're proud to wear your PFP and feel like you're part of something. So I think, you know, we see the biggest tokens everywhere. They all don like a profile picture of their favorite coin, and they all sort of go up in the masses. And I think that's kind of where it all started for us. That's kind of like that's essentially the foundation of our dam is the community, because I think without a community, you know, it's hard to really like get people to do your raids, because I've seen, you know, in the past, even projects that I'd worked on, you pay for these raiders, or you're giving away supply to raiders, and it's like their replies or their PFPs might not quite reflect
Mhm.
your actual token. So you see like a raid and it's got like 30 likes and like 15 comments, but half of them are like LFG and, you know, Bobber to the moon, and it's like, you know.
Yeah, the Raiders are, it's an interesting dynamic, because you know, we actually do have a rating team, and yeah, it's a love hate thing sometimes. Some, you know, you
Yeah.
need to have activity on your posts, right? But
Mhm.
you know, you sort of need to have that help, especially in the beginning, to get that
Yeah.
activity to bring in, you know, real holders and people that are going to, you know, support the project long term. So I definitely feel what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's funny.
it's an interesting topic, man. Like,
It is.
don't get me wrong, you know, like when we first started, I'm not sure kind of what you guys use in your Telegram for the raids, but we were using like radar, radar, yeah, radar, and like we had like tokens designated to airdrops, and people were smashing the raids, but it was just the quality of raids. Like we were even saying to them, look, here's a raid guide. We made a full PDF of, you know, we've got a memes channel, get a meme, put the ticker on, and just put something unique. And it was just like it still wasn't kind of drilling in. But then I think that does at the start does help you at least get ready to smash it. It brings the activity, and then once you get over that hurdle, it's like, all right, we stop doing it, and it's like, okay, like we've now kind of built a real community. The community now raids, and I think from there, we've done all right. Like you said, you see a bunch of beavers just flying around on X at the moment from our community.
I have been seeing a lot of beavers, a whole lot of beavers. It's been good though. Um, so yeah, it sounds like you guys have you've been working on the different products. You got the NFTs. I know there's some other NFTs in the works. What are some other marketing plans that you guys have in the works, and how do you plan to, obviously we're in sort of a bear market at the moment, or at least going sideways. There's not a whole lot of activity. But yeah, what are your marketing plans to, I guess, make the most of the time that we have at the moment, and prepare yourself for when the bull market starts up again?
So for us, with there's kind of like multiple routes. So I guess if we're talking about grassroots levels, we're trying to hit spaces a lot. Where there's a bunch of like lounges and Telegram groups, and I swear I must annoy the heck out of people. Where I'm just chucking the ticker in every day and just saying, oh yeah, look at our chart, and it's just like oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. Like that's like the grassroots levels. I guess in terms of like actual marketing, we locked in a deal with a guy. We done it quite a while ago, and we've been holding off the marketing a little bit, just simply because of what you said, the bear market. We're waiting for the real, when the real volume's in to initiate that, and to do that push. That's kind of sat there waiting, and we paid for that a long time ago.
Hmm.
We just got that on hold. So in the meantime, we're trying to establish our connections. We're trying to collaborate with bigger projects. We're trying to just kind of like get things done. So like, for example, we managed to get the Coin Gecko done, which is, again, I guess, again, extra eyes. We've been talking about, because we haven't even updated our Dex tools yet. Like that used to
Oh,
be like
really?
one of the first things we. Yeah, which is surprising actually, because
Huh.
it usually is one of the first things we do is update Dex tools, like say previously, but we just kind of held off on heavy marketing, and focused really actually on the health of our chart, and
Hmm.
just building that foundation of community. So when I say the health of our chart, it's like um, us as, because again, it's not like a team that came together from the start. It's community members. So it's like we wanted to get people that are holding or been around from the start. I've got the biggest bags. We kind of brought everyone together. We didn't necessarily like docs wallets or anything, but I think
Hmm.
there's 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 a different kind of vibe on this project, where even if, I guess, looking at a chart, you can see during the that real bleed, I think the last couple of months, we barely like sort of moved. We barely went down. We kind of just traded sideways, which I think was a best case scenario for us, actually. Is that
Hmm.
we held a floor, and it gave us the opportunity to accumulate and keep sticking supply into our liquidity pool, and just strengthening our actual liquidity. Because from where we came off, Ape Store, as it uses virtual liquidity, you don't have a massive amount. It's quite low. So
Hmm.
we've just really been focusing on those kind of things. But going forward, we've got funds in the bank if we need to do any extra marketing. But as we'd already sort of come together, um, and discuss the marketing plan, and kind of just gearing up for that marketing push when the time is right, that will be initiated. But I think so far we've actually done really well without it, which is great. It's always great, and I think it's always good to be busy. Be busy, be loud, be proud, and I
And be
think
a beaver.
a lot of people, they underappreciate in these times, right? Because in the bull, everyone's going to be pumping, everyone's going to be loud and proud, and it's hard to stand out. But when it's like
Hmm.
these times, these are the times you push the hardest. These are the times that you really get everyone together in a huddle and say, look, regardless of price action, regardless of market sentiment, we stay bullish on Bobber. Like,
Hmm.
and that's kind of like just what we've been doing, like a beaver, just grinding every day. And it's hard work, it's hard work, but I think that's where like myself, Shiloh, JR, Chroma, and all this, a few other guys. I'll just give them a mention, like SWAT, Jacob, Dex, bunch of dudes. Like everyone is busy every day. They're out, they're positive, they don't show any negativity, and the conviction becomes contagious. When the guys that are leading the project show no that they're unshakable, and they just show pure positivity, it reflects on your community. So I think, we've managed to build that mindset in our people. We've managed to build that diamond hand kind of cult, and like people that are providing into the liquidity pool, they're getting paid in ETH. So it's like, all right, I don't need to sell my bags. I just stick it in my liquidity pool, and I just accumulate Ethereum, and it's like cool, and you can do what you want. A lot of them just get the money and put it back into the project. So it's like, happy days, or help us towards contributing to the marketing wallet. So there are some other talks we've had. I don't know if you know these guys, the Base Cartel,
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Quigley and those guys. Yeah, so like we were having discussions with them. Nothing's locked in yet, but he's a holder. He's very fond of our project and likes what we've been doing. So that's someone that we're looking to kind of close a deal with at some point. It would be great for extra exposure. He has massive spaces, and on those kind of spaces, what tends to happen is, if you're not, and in a lot of them, if you're not kind of already in like a group, or with them, you kind of end up coming at the end when everyone's kind of tired out. It's been like an hour and a half, 2 hours on the spaces, no one's really listening. But where the real prime time is getting in at the beginning, getting a slot, and getting everyone's attention right at the start. So yeah, man, we just we're just grinding, and just really trying to shine out during this slow patch, hopefully gearing up for when the real volume comes in, to see a price that reflects our community, I think.
Yeah, and I want to go back to one thing that you were mentioning was, you know, the fact that you guys have been rising in market cap, or maybe slightly decreased in market cap when a lot of projects are, in sort of a free fall or steep decline, sort of following ETH. That is a real testament to, what a community is, and the project that you've been building, and your ability to market your project. I think a lot of devs will launch something and they have no business background or marketing experience, and they'll continue to build things, but you have to continue to update your community. You have to keep everyone in the loop. You have to keep pushing and showing up every single day, and you know just going on these spaces, or coming on a show like this, and creating content, and all these different things. And that's same thing for us. We've had our market cap continue to actually increase during this time, and continue to sort of make new higher lows, and yeah, it's been a blessing, but it's a lot of hard work, obviously, to that people don't normally see from the surface necessarily.
I think, yeah, it's easy to be a trader, right? Like it's easy just to click buy and sell, but it's not easy to show up every day, and put your time, your energy, your passion into something, and relentlessly push it. It's difficult, but I think that comes with conviction, and then it also comes with, like I said, that I've I've done, been involved in a bunch of projects, and I think, they all went up really well, but I guess it was in a good market, right?
Hmm.
But the one thing that I learned from all of those projects was, you need to have a community, regardless of if things are pumping or if things are dumping. People will be there and active. And it's funny because, like, when we see, like, because, like, for example, yesterday, we or even the last like few days, we pumped for like a week, right? Just going up, 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 and we were waiting for a retracement. We had a slight retracement. We kind of traded sideways a little bit, and then yesterday there was a bunch of dudes that just capitulated and were just dumping like thousands, right? And they were new wallets. They weren't like guys that had been in from the beginning. So And they always say don't ever mess with a beaver's dam, because then all of a sudden, you know, we got all these guys in our community that have got like limit orders waiting for an entry, and then next thing you know, it's just gone from 360k straight back up over 400 again. Like people
Wow.
were just aping in and holding, and it's like, you know, that's come from the conviction, that's come from the solid foundation of building a community. And I think, I guess where it works for us is the it's the it's a couple, it's obviously a few things, but I guess it's like the narrative, it's the genuine, like how genuine the dev is, right? So Shiloh, straight away, as soon as we bonded off Ape Store, so Ape Store uses their own liquidity. When you bond, you then go onto a Uniswap pool.
Yep.
So as soon as we came off, he locked his dev supply. He then sent the supply designated to the marketing wallet into a multi-sig with people from the community. So again, like I said, from the beginning, he was a solo dev, and he then sent it to a wallet that requires multiple signers of people that are within the community. So it's like essentially locked, you know, until we all agree to push it out. But we've managed to build that relationship, and I think also JR said earlier is like, we've all got different expertise, right? And we've all got different skills. And I think the fact that we've come together, and you know, Shiloh is an amazing dev, an amazing artist. JR, business minded, is you know, locking in deals with or and speaking to a bunch of different people to get us on spaces. Myself is, you know, how to run a project, like the do's and the don'ts, learning from my past mistakes. And it's kind of like, and then we've got Chroma, also a TA guy. He's amazing at charts, and he's you know, giving us like the heads up on what he thinks, kind of how the charts are going to go. And it's crazy, it's like he reads into the future. He just tells us, yeah, I think we may have a little retracement to this area, and then depending on X, Y, and Z, we may bounce back. And it literally happened yesterday.
Wow.
So you know, when you bring these different minds together that have different skills, you can then build this great project, and then with a community behind it, which is the most important thing. You know, it all comes together into this you know, what Bob has become.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm actually hearing a lot of I guess similarities between our projects, and what you're talking about. You know, we launched on Toshi Mart, which you know, it was a similar platform to Ape Store, and I did the exact same thing that you're talking about, where yeah, you know, kind of put together a group of like all the original holders from Toshi Mart, and that sort of became like our foundation and our team. And I think that's such an important thing to do, is like you get your top holders, you get your, you know, your people that have been involved since day one, and you sort of like, you hold on to them. You know, you make sure that they're the most in the loop, they're most updated, and you sort of build those relationships and friendships, and it, you know, turns into what you guys have built, which is, you know, an incredible team, all working together, all kind of firing on all pistons, and driving, you know, the market cap, you know, to where it's at today. I want to bring up something that I thought was pretty cool, but you guys obviously got some of the Caitlyn Jenner hype. I want you to talk about that.
Yeah, that was that was crazy. So essentially what happened is, right, I'd had a friend that messaged me, and he goes, yo, have you seen Caitlyn Jenner's made a banker bot? And off a whim, like in the admin chat, I was like, boys, I've sent like $50 worth of tokens to Caitlyn Jenner's banker bot. Didn't think much of it. Like I just said, look, it was just a quick like on, you know, quick thinking on my feet kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, the next day I've woken up and like I've seen the market cap has gone to like 500k, and I was sat there like, yo, what is going on?
You guys were at like 40, 50k or something like that
Yeah,
beforehand.
yeah.
We were similar, and I was like, what?
So like it was crazy, man. Like to be totally honest with you, like we weren't even ready for that kind of pump. Like we wanted to slow grind it and keep building the community, keep building our liquidity pool. Like we were in the middle of like, you know, fattening our liquidity, and it's always, I guess it's always better to do it at a lower market cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we were busy doing that, and the next thing you know, like, you know, this tweet's happening. It's like, oh, who are these tokens? You know, and it came up with us, DRB, and a few others. Can I get their socials? Because I think we appeared in the top top wallets, and then yeah, that was it. People just started aping in, but obviously it
Hmm.
turned into a bit of a PvP. People just obviously like capitalize on the situation or whatever, and then we kind of went up, like mooned from like I think it was like 60K, went all the way to like 800K, and then came back down to like 200K, and then yeah, from there, like we sent Kaylin an NFT. Kaylin followed the main account and stuff, and it was kind of cool. And then after a few, like I think maybe like a week later, um, she sold us, and I think it was Borat. I think
She
they
sold
came
us
on.
too. I sent her a
Yeah.
couple
So
$100 probably. It is.
yeah,
I was considering sending a lot more just to be in those like posts, like my top
yeah,
5, base holdings. She played us all, man.
yeah. I think you know what the I guess the one positive from it was right is that this is how I see it anyways, is that I sent $50 worth of tokens. It wasn't a lot, and we managed to kind of just get in there first, I guess. So like the fact that we were on the first post and we had the pump or whatever, and we may not have been the top one of the top ones after, it didn't like damage us too much, because if I'd like over sent my supply, then I think that may have, I see that happen to what's his name? I think the Cool Dev. He sent a lot of supply, and
Hmm.
then it got sold, and it kind of damaged the chart a little bit. So I think that was the positive. And actually, in hindsight, right, we were sitting at a 60K market cap, but then after that, we sat at 200, and kind of, if you look at our chart, like on a daily, we kind of curved down a bit, but I don't think we went any lower than 150 like in a day. We kind of like went lower, but then it got bought straight back up again. So in a way, it basically doubled, tripled our market cap just from
At
just from
least,
yeah,
yeah,
just
7
from
or
a
8x.
yeah, just from a quick $50. So that's a
Hmm.
I guess that's good
That's a
marketing.
good good ROI. Yeah, I would say that's one of the best I've seen. I mean,
No,
you can be proud of that. Yeah, that was quick thinking on your feet. I heard through the grapevine that you guys had mooned from it, and I followed in suit. But um, yeah, that whole thing with Caitlyn Jenner kind of came to a screeching halt pretty quickly.
mm,
It seemed like she kind of just stopped posting about base. But you know what? It is what it is. There's going to be other influencers and other big names that come to base once they realize sort of what the platform has to offer, and the fact that it's Coinbase's own blockchain. um, so I actually, before I guess I move on to the next topic, I also want to ask you guys, what are some like challenges that you've had to overcome as a project, and how did you overcome them? What was the solution to it?
man, we've had a ton of hurdles. I think to start with, like, you know, coming off Ape Store. I don't know if this is the same on Toshimart, right? But like on Ape Store, you can basically buy, like, you can buy at such a low market cap. People get hold of a lot of supply, right? And we came off. We came off, went straight up to like 100 and something K, and then boom, we got sold all the way down to like 30K.
Hmm.
And then we slowly built our chart back up. We were grinding, raiding, doing all that kind of stuff. And then what happened was there was a guy that joined a lounge, right, with a blue, what's it called, Doodle NFT, right? So they're a big NFT cult, and the guy joined this lounge and was like, "Oh, what NFTs are on base, blah blah blah." And me, being very naive at the time, I was like, "Oh yeah, you should come check out Bobr NFTs." They came, they joined, and then they kind of like infiltrated our community. A few of them was like, "Yeah, we're from Doodle. We've just had an AMA. We're gonna get the guys to come invest a bunch of money in." And then they started pumping our chart, right? And they were
Hmm.
like, "Right, if you guys buy this NFT, I think it was called like Sloob or something NFT, and you manage to mint all of them, we're gonna put this massive investment." And obviously, they were pumping our chart, making us think this is real. So we're all there buying all these NFTs. Next thing you know, we
Man.
found, like, the next day I woke up, luckily, and I was getting atted, and some guy was like calling me a scammer, saying, "Oh, you're running a scam, another ape chain scam, this, that, the other." And I was like, "Yo, what's this guy on about?" So I DM'd him. I said, "Bro, like, what are you talking about? We're a legitimate community. This is our Telegram, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Yeah, whoever's doing this is a scammer. So then, yeah, that was crazy, and then that kind of like brought us back down again. But that was the beginning of the true resilience of our community, and was like, no, you know what, like these guys are genuine. You know, they weren't aware of this, and we kind of that actually made us real strong, and we banded together. And the most beautiful thing about it was this is when I got like full conviction on Shiloh. Was he didn't even care about like the money lost or even what was going on the chart. All he cared about was the people that had lost their money, you know. And
Mm.
like when I saw his reaction to that, that was just like, yo, this guy is like one of the most genuine, kind-hearted people I've met in this space. And we, you know, that really was the begin. That was actually the real beginning of the cult. That going through that hardship and people still stuck by, regardless of what happened. You know, people actually then started buying our NFTs,
Mm.
started donning the PFPs. Like, nah, you know, you guys are legit. Like, you know, we want to support you. I think other hurdles we've had is like, again, it's like with the liquidity, because we didn't at the start, because we had that Jenner pump, and you know we didn't really foresee it. We didn't get as much liquidity as we liked at that point in time.
Mm.
So that's why we've had to gradually add the liquidity at higher market caps, rather than, you know, being able to really bolster it at like the 60, 70, 80k market cap. We've had to start doing it like double the market cap. But you know, it's not too bad, because we've got, you know, like real diamond hands, and a good bit of supply between the community. You know, at the end of the day, it's a, you know, it's like it's like a CTO, but it isn't, because the devs there. But he's locked away a bunch of supply, which is always good. The supply that are in the community's hands have been diamond handed really well. So I guess that's how we overcome that. And I think
Mm.
also it's like this bad market is keeping people motivated. So one thing that we've been using is so it's like this. So basically it's a buy bot, or you know, like a Sigma, right? But what you
Mm.
do is you can put it in your Telegram, and you can basically airdrop tokens directly to your holders within the Telegram. It's called VVBot, and that was a real like game changer for us, because it wasn't really like too hot then. It's still pretty under the radar, and what you can do is you can openly buy, sell, send, and burn tokens on your Telegram, and like say a new person joins, and you figure out that it's not one of those like bots, you know, buy
Yeah.
now chicks or something, right?
Yeah.
You know, you drop them like a couple of bucks in tokens, right? And then it's like you've instantly got their attention. They're like, oh, okay, someone's sending me some tokens. Like, what's this? And then you kind of just they see like the activity in the chat and that kind of thing. So that was a really cool community engager. And then we also used it for a buy comp. And the beautiful thing about that is you see all the people, all the
Mm.
users that are buying through the bot. So to be eligible in a competition, you put the command in the Telegram. So you know, for us, it'd be at VV Based Bot by, you know, 0.01 Bobr. It then comes up with the transaction. Boom, it shows it. You put that what you put up like a leaderboard, and then it shows your Telegram username and then the amount you've bought. And then that became like a little kind of competition within our group, where people were accumulating supply within the community. It's not like, you know, like the buy tech buy comps. What happens is you have no idea who's buying your chart. People
Mm.
kind of try to snipe those competitions, and then they're just full porting money at the end of the comp. Boom, massive dump. But for us, it was complete reverse, because it's people in
Mm.
the Telegram, and everyone was having this friendly competition. They wanted to win the cash prize and win the NFTs. Um, and it was mainly community members. Like, you know, it was nice. You know, people were buying, but they're holding. They're not buying and then trying to clip after. So, you know, there have been other hurdles, I guess. I think even now is trying to get people in and retain their attention and bring them on new holders and don the NFTs. Sometimes people are a bit reluctant to do it, but
Mm.
I think over time, once they see activity, especially going out on VC. I mean, for you, you're docs, bro. So you're like, you know, you've got that real how do I say this? That real trust, I guess, from your community, right? So like when you've got devs or project leads that don't really jump on spaces or don't really jump on VCs, community VCs, or within your Telegram, it's kind of harder to trust those those people, right? But if there's people willing to get out there, put their voice out there, put their face out there, it makes it a bit easier to relate to them and kind of hear the conviction in someone's voice opposed to just seeing it in type text. So
Definitely.
um, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, networking, it's really just networking at the end of the day, doing these voice chats. And, uh, you know, I actually didn't think it would be such a big part of growing Diamond was hopping on spaces. But, the more I met people and just kind of shook hands and helped, we kind of would help each other out. You start getting invited to voice chats and then into different Telegram groups with, all the devs. And that's actually sort of, I believe, how we met was through something similar like that. So, and here we are, figuring out ways
that's
we can collaborate further. So, yeah, it's such an essential part, but it's actually really not that hard to do
mm,
it. It takes a little bit of extra effort just to hop on a call for an hour or however long, and it's not like you're having to do a hard shill or sell someone on what you're doing. You get your slot for 5 minutes, 10 minutes to talk about your project. Like no problem. It's easy.
yeah.
So anyway, forget why I
I think
went
that's
down
the
that
beautiful
tangent.
thing though, right? Of base chain is this is one thing I've massively noticed is like there is a real community vibe on the whole chain, especially with people that are, memes, utility, you name it. People will be willing to get up and have their voice heard and network and actually collaborate. That's a massive thing I see on base. People are open to collaboration. People are open to working with others, and it's a real genuine vibe in the space. It's not as toxic as some other chains. So
Yeah.
that that's what I love about this chain, man. It's great.
I totally agree. I agree. I think that's sort of what won me over with Base was seeing the type of community that other projects had, and the community that we've been able to be surrounded with Diamond and in other communities we've been invited to. It's all everyone's willing to help each other out. It's pretty amazing. So actually, my next question for you is regarding Base. So what are your thoughts on the Base blockchain? Why did you guys choose Base, or why did Shiloh choose Base, and where do you see things going in the next couple of years?
Uh, I mean, I'll let you answer this one, Shiloh. Go on.
All right. So it was actually my own consideration why I choose Base over Solana or any other chains. First, crypto is actually a fast-paced game, right? Like I can't imagine myself if I'm starting Bobr on Solana, where it's really fast. Whenever like you came to the pump.fun, it will bond it like on that day, and they will asking you bunch of questions like when marketing boost, when deck screener, when KOLs, whatever that is.
When
It's just like a bunch of exit liquidity guy, and also like the culture that they're like on the Solana. It's not the building mentality. It's not a something for the long term project. And I was thinking like, all right, I'm gonna try to another chains. I tried like Sonic, I tried Parachain, and it's not really mature enough. And then I found Base because of Ape.store actually. I went out to the YouTube and then what is the best chain for meme coins, and apparently the video that showing up, it was about the Ape.store. And then yeah, it brought me to the base after that.
hmm,
So that is my first consideration. And then the second one, of course, like I want to build something like for the long-term project. So base it's really suit with it. And I've seen like the model that they are building. It's really, really suit me well. That's why like, I choose base over Solana. And yeah, I'm agree with SO that base it's not that toxic. But still like there's like a toxicity, the trencher degens.
Hmm.
always be toxic,
I mean,
but it lasts toxic.
especially on these launch pads, like Ape Store and Toshimart, you're gonna, and Pump Fund, you're going to have, the Moon Boys that just want want to see you put in money in and for them to sell later on, um, and yeah, or there's a lot of rug pulls like that. That was one thing that was running rampant on Toshimart, and I yeah, it was just one thing that was constantly happening, and actually Scott, who's in the chat here, was able to kind of track the wallets and find who the scammers were. So we sort of formed this community, like, this is a good project, this is not, um, and everyone was sort of working together to let people know, like, do not invest in this project. uh, and that was one thing that was very unique, about Toshimart, at least. But there's a lot more room for improvement. I won't talk everyone's ear off about our plans for a launchpad, but there's definitely room for better products out there. So actually, Scott, you have a question here, and I want to make sure we get to it. He was asking earlier on, when it comes to airdrops and dispersed tokens, how much do you feel is fair, and what would you feel others would take, as offensive? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Um, I think you know what it really depends on the individuals, right? So, like I mentioned earlier, using the VB bot, like with the tokens that I don't actually know how much I've sent out in tokens, to be honest, right? But a lot of the time, I don't just willy nilly give tokens out to anyone. What I do is, like, on a daily, I'll go onto the raiding leaderboard, right? And I'll pick, even though I'm on there, so that's one slot gone. I'll give, like, to the other nine. I'll just drop them, like, five, say $5 worth of tokens, right? Maybe even less on a daily. But these guys, because they've been about, they've built that trust with us. They're part of the community. They're active. They don't ever moan about how many tokens are kind of sent to them. In fact, they're very appreciative, because people come from all different parts of the world, and that's one thing about us as well, is even in, like, our team, we're, like, myself, Shiloh, JR, we're all from different parts of the world. And there's other guys that are in our team that are maybe not from countries that are economically the best, but they have real skills, like real skills that they can contribute. And it's like, and even in our community, and it's like any little helps, I think, to the individuals, and they all are pretty grateful. I find that the ones that complain about the airdrops and the amount of tokens they got tend to either be either scammers or people that aren't actually part of the community and haven't been around for a long time, and tend to just like look for tokens. So sometimes I'll send a token, because it's all in the open on the chat. You get some random dude like, oh, what about me? And it's like, I've never seen you before. Why am I going to randomly send you tokens? I'm only going to send tokens to people that have, if they're done in the PFP, or if they're in there all day raiding or sending their own raids or doing a piece of artwork, anything nice. Anyone that does anything positive, I just drop them a few tokens, and I think majority of the time people don't get offended. A lot of the time, people that do get offended are ones that haven't been sent tokens, but they haven't really done anything to deserve the tokens. I don't want to just send supply out and someone's just gonna take it and sell it, like,
Hmm.
just because they want a bit of cash. Like, that's basically not the purpose of the airdrops, right? The purpose of the airdrops is to reward people who are committed, to reward people that are that are active, that do good things, positive things for the community or for the project itself. So yeah, there's never really any set amounts. It's just kind of like, on the fly. And especially when the market gap goes up, when you're sending tokens at 50k, it's a lot different to sending tokens at 500k. So it's
It
like,
is.
you
Yeah, you're
got
sending a lot less tokens.
to you
I
got to
know
manage
it's
that.
you do. I mean, you have to be careful, and you do have to budget. At the end of the day, it is a business, and you have to look at it, and run it like a business. That's I'm sure that's why you guys are so grateful for JR's contributions, to be able to probably budget things out and run spreadsheets and that type of thing. But in my experience, a little goes a long way. Like you were saying, a couple dollars here and there. We have like a weekly competition or a trivia competition, and sometimes people win $2. Sometimes they win 14 or $20 worth of our token, but always people are appreciative of it. They're happy just to, be involved and stay active. And it is a really important part of building a community is running these weekly, competitions, whether it's rating rewards, whether it's, biggest buy competition, whatever it is. We've consistently ran weekly competitions, and it's really helped us build a, a stronger community, a more active community. Um, so yeah, but thanks for the question, Scott. So, what are some of your guys' tips for launching a project right now on Base? If someone hasn't launched a project before, maybe they have and it wasn't a success. What would you tell them to do?
All right.
Um,
Go on, Charlie.
I think I would go first, right, about this because it's really crucial. I've seen like I'm not saying like all the projects that I'm not mentioning to all project, right? But like mostly, especially like on the launchpad, a lot of people, a lot of developers didn't put their works into it. Like, they just put some AI random ass kind of meme type things, and then they just launch a token. I mean, man, just put your works. Like, if you couldn't even make some freaking artworks, go to the Fiverr.com or find another artist to make something like nice artworks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know like a meme, it's like a things. A lot of people, the main utility on the meme coins is community. I'm agree with that, but like don't use it as an excuse to not building something like real legit. Like and also it works for the trencher or the degens that invested a lot into randomized things, kind of tokens that doesn't have that real utility behind it. No roadmap. It's just basically like five, and then in the next week, then you get rooked,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna blame Mart. You're gonna blame Ape Store about it. So, and then the second one, this is the crucial one. Try to connect with other people on space. It's really important. Like um and the third one, don't ever be cocky. The first time that I came out to the Ape Store, right, on the VC, a lot of people say, right, well, I've been involved on this project. It was like running to 2 million market cap. It's kind of like a narcissistic problem. I mean, like, why it happened, why it was like a 12 million or maybe like 4 million, and now it's went down to a 4,000 market cap. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not making sense. I know like that project it doesn't work again, but like why you being proud that market cap on that value, like for me as a developer, whenever like the market cap goes down, I don't care about it. It's just like it's just reflection of the value of my project. I
Mm-hmm.
need to double down to my works. It's either on my code, it's either on my artworks, or maybe like it's my problems to connect with community, or maybe I'm not relevant no more. So I try to learn about the market dynamics, people dynamics. I make some personas about what's hyping right now. So it's something need to be learned. It's not, you gotta blame like, oh, it's basically like a fucking cheaters because they sell like a whole freaking bag.
Yep.
But it doesn't gonna make us stop because, you know, just keep working, man. Just keep building, stay base and stay building. That's the base motto. Right?
I'm hyped
So
up.
that is for me, man.
I'm hyped up. Keep building. It's for the builders, man. We're building on the base blockchain over here. Yeah, I mean, you nailed it, Shiloh. You go to Toshimart or any of these platforms, and you see all of the projects that bond. They have a built out social media. They have a Telegram, with bots ready to go. They have a really nice looking website, and you can just tell that they put effort into it. And then that's a recipe for success. Number one, you have to put effort into it. You have to kind of create the lore behind it, the story. All of that goes into setting yourself up for success. Obviously, it's not going to happen right away. Where like for us, for example, we had all those things, but still we were on Toshimart, for like a month, grinding it out. I was staying active in other communities on Toshimart, and messaging and making sure people could see my name. And yeah, exactly, Scott. You got to stay based. So that is great advice. So last question, I'll ask you guys, what are some of the top projects in your eyes and developments on base right now, besides obviously base bobber and diamond?
Base on base. Um, there's like a lot of undervalued project actually on base. Like a lot of project it's literally sleep on, or maybe it's because the volume it's not there, or I don't know, man. Like for me personally, top three. First it's gonna be a black market. Black market is the multi-chain project, and they run it really well on the Polygon. I need to give a shout out to them. And then the second one, Pepper. I will put Pepper to a top one because here's the thing, man. Like, maybe I'm a certified sniper or whatever that is. So their price, it's like I found them at the 500,000 market cap, right? And I told everyone on the group, like, yo, this Pepper, it's kind of crazy. Like their marketing, their development, it's completely genius. It's not something that, like an ordinary person can run this project. There's something like there's someone behind it. And then I think like 5 days after, the market cap went up to 3.4 market cap. And I remember that day everyone was like, what the fuck is the Pepper about? And then I said to them like, you know why I really adore to this project. First, the marketing strategy, it's really, really genius.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say like in details, but it's kind of revolutionary on base. And the second part, the development, I've seen like they are cooking something like the developer is always showing up and telling like what they are actually building, and they having like the bare bone ideas about the RNG, the first RNG system on base, and apparently they launched it 3 weeks or maybe 2 weeks ago, and it was really really big. And yeah, and then the second project that really adore, mm, I'm gonna give a shout out to um I think Toshi, man. I think Toshi, man, the OG, man. Like I
Got to
like
stay
the
true to our
artwork.
roots, man. Got to stay true to our roots.
Yes.
Yeah, we got
I
a
mean,
diamond Toshi pool open that I opened, and it's been doing good work for us. So I totally agree with you.
yeah, like I cannot even deny like their artwork is so smooth, and it's so perfect. And the way how they done, it's really good, man. Like I don't know, like I can't talk much about Toshi because they are good already.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're a marketing machine, and the fact that they're a CTO is even more like incredible. The fact that they've been able to do what they've been able to do. Yeah, I'm a big holder in Toshi, and continue to accumulate. Glad you feel the same way.
Yeah.
Well, those are great. I'll have to check some of those out. I haven't heard of those other projects that you mentioned, so definitely going to be looking into them. But that's about it. We're kind of at the end of our hour time slot here. I actually went over a little bit, but wanted to give you some final words, anything that you want to tell the people.
A final words to the listener or the audience is for me. It's like um here's the thing, man. Like, this is like a little bit complain, right? I've seen like a lot of swing traders nowadays. Maybe you guys like are watching Alex Baker or whatever that is, or maybe like the Orangey on the Solana that, like introducing how you can get rich on the meme coin quick. It's just like
Mm.
this kind of PvP mentality is really fucked up. Like, I'm against it personally. It's not something like when I was like on the Shiba Inu, I was part of it, and people is like really, really patient, man. Like they put money and they believe, they keep buying, they keep DCAing every single day, every single month when they got like a paycheck. But now, like, it's different, like what I'm gonna say is like I miss that time, when the real community, it's always building together, networking together to make something like really nice, like forget about money and try to detach yourself from the money. So you will find the Web3 is actually more beautiful than that. So that's it, man.
That was well said. That was beautiful. I love that. Well, thank you all for joining. Thank you to all the listeners who carved out this hour. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you, So. Thank you, JR and Shiloh. You guys are all stand-up guys, and I'll be watching intently on everything that you guys do in the future. And if you ever want to come back on, let me know. We can always schedule another time.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate for your time, man. Like, you're giving us some huge spotlight to us today on this interview, and this is actually the first time that we are having an interview on the YouTube, though.
I love it,
And
man.
I've seen you, Ryan. Like, you're really active on YouTube, man. Keep it that work. You're really based, man. Like, for me, like, you're you're different than the others. Most people are doing like on the space on the Twitter, but like you did it like on the YouTube. You did a great work. I love that what you're doing. I love what Diamond doing. And yeah, man, like, I believe like Diamond will be, like, right now it's really undervalued, man. For me, like, it's gonna be like a 1 million now.
Appreciate
So
that.
thanks for everything, man.
You're gonna bring a tear to my eye. No, yeah, we doing it for base, man. Base needs more exposure. So anything that it's a community, like it's everything that we're all doing is going to bring more of the normies on chain and more exposure to the projects that deserve it, like the both of us. So appreciate you guys once again. Yeah, let's talk soon. Have a good night.
Take care.
Have a good night. Much love.
Much love.